Well, welcome to Come Knit With Me, and today we're going to do Sweater Machine Basics Part 2, and this will be probably the last one. First I want to show you some of the tools that I use. Now these do not come in the box, and some I have made. Now this tool I use to move 10 stitches up. So I go like this, and I know those are 10 stitches. The notch I use to open up the latches. Now I'm going to play with 20 stitches today, maybe 30. Yeah, I'll go with 30. Okay, open the latches, and I'm going to do what I believe is called a provincial cast on. This is a roll of twine that my husband picked up for me, and what I use this for is my provincial cast on. I loosen up some. Provincial cast on is a save live stitches. Do a loop and I packed all my tools in here so I wouldn't forget to show you any. Okay. Now this is a latch tool that I'd created. This is a polymer handle, and I made it so that it fits into my hand. And that's just an extra needle I had. Okay, so I am gonna start with my 20, and I'm doing just a crochet. And if you want, you could do this across all 10 stitches, put a knot in both ends, and then take it apart. And that's about the only length you'll need. But I don't feel like cutting it from the spool, at least not yet. Now this is, I can undo this very easy when I need to play with the live stitches. Okay, now I'm going to wrap this up a little bit, and I'm going to set it out of the way. And I'm just using an elastic band to hold it in place. And as I said, I'm going to just set it down here underneath. Now I have cast on. I'm going to use a ruler, which my husband cut. This one is in 7 inches. And I'm going to use that to push it back to the working position. Now that's just a document clip. It's so that I can just hang it on this hook I got over here, this S hook, and a document clip. And I have various lengths. Okay, so that's done. And what doesn't come, but you can purchase extra, is my row counter, which I'm not going to mess with today. Okay, and we're going to use some yarn. This is Red Heart yarn. Okay, so we have the provincial cast on, and we need to do just a simple cast on. Now I am gonna put on weights, but not until after I do the first stitch. Now this is a popsicle stick that I have taped across the V that the yarn goes through. I am using Key Plate 3, which I'm just practicing playing, so size doesn't really make it. It depends on your pattern. I'm knitting slowly, making sure I have enough yarn so there's no tension on it. You can see it laying around. Now I don't use the weights anymore that come with the machine. I use a different type of weights. Okay, so that's all situated. I use these. You can buy these at various places. My go-to is eBay. And I'll hang these. I use these, and this takes the place of the black hem and the rod weights. Okay? So I'm going to knit a few rows. My hair gets in the way. Okay, see where it bubbles? That is telling me I need a weight there. Okay, so I'm gonna get me a transfer tool. This you can purchase. This does not. Some comes with it, but the basic one doesn't. It's got two transfer tools. Great for cables, for decreasing. And I'm just using the tool to hold the yarn up so I can restitch. Excuse me. Okay, and here's starting to bubble up. Okay, so I have 30 stitches and 5 weights. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to do a simple cable, which, bear with me. I'll show you the rest in a little bit. Alright, I'm just going to do a 1x1 cable here. Ignore the 3, well I'll use the one with the 2. Ignore those because those I'm only going to use one hook. You're going to take, depending on what the pattern calls for, you're going to take 1 and 2, cross it, and there's a simple cable. Another way is if you're doing 2x2, I've got them somewhere in here. I guess not, they're somewhere else. Don't bother, don't worry. You can use a 3 for a 2x2. Okay, so you want to take 2 stitches off. And while I'm working on it, I'll just hang it there. Then take these 2 off. That way, yep, depending on whether you're going left or right. Take this one. See how tight it gets? To alleviate that, see, it's doable, but it's tight. Okay, and if you want the cable to stand out, you need to take your, oh heavens, your latch tool. Now I use bobby pins if I want to hold stitches and I don't want to stitch past that, which is what I want to do. The stitch on either side of the cable, which is here, and here. I just use them to hold the stitch in place. Let's see. There we go. And what I do with that is I release it and release it. Now I'm not going to do this one so you can see what I'm doing, and I'm doing this one. Now because it's still tight, I'm putting these in forward work position, and I'm not worrying about those. I'll mess with them later. And I knit the row. See, and it knits very nicely. And now I will convert these as I'm looking at them. I convert them to knit, but we're working on the wrong side, so the fronts will be purls. Okay, let me show you again. I pull the bobby pin that I put in, and I want to make sure I get the loop, so I unladder all those, and there's the loop. And once I get the first loop in, I can take the pin out, and I'll use the pin to hold the work down so that I can ladder it back up. Okay, so now that covers cables, and let me see, and we've covered the 3-prong tools, the handmade latch tool, and I've also made the handmade tools, which is a 1x4. There's a video about this one. And another tool I use, this is a Nook. It comes in very handy when I want to take off the work like a sweater, but I want them live and I don't feel like doing waste yarn. Okay. This is a transfer tool garter bar I made. It's bobby pins, craft tools, and I think I put tape over it, but I also glued it. And this is by Chris Crafter. It's a garter bar, which I'll show you, not on this one because I can only use, this one's only 15, but I may dig out I have 150 to show you. Obviously, scissors, a roll of tape measure, sorry, and again my weight. Now this tool is actually for a potter. It's used on the potter wheel to smooth or to put a curve in or out. I use it for latches. Works very good for that. Okay. And you do get some of this with it, but this I didn't. This was purchased afterwards. It's a clip. It's used if you need to hold the yarn down for some reason, which if I had done that, which I forget, I wouldn't have had to give it a tug. And another type of scissors. Now this is what I use for ravel cord, when I use ravel cord. Because sometimes the one I used earlier is too thick. This is just 5 crochet thread, size 5. And again, a transfer tool. These were made before I acquired the other ones. And again, this is polymer clay. Only this time I used a cotter pin, 16 by 32, I think. Okay. And this, you might say, is an earring, which it was, but it makes a very good stitch marker. Oops, my glasses. Okay, so let's move that away. Okay, and these are stitch holders. These come if you have to, these work out great if you have to take the work off the machine. I use the Nook sometimes in place of these. Okay, and I have used these. This is a cable needle, cable hook, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes you use it, you want to take it off, you use it like you do that. Okay, and this is another transfer tool. This is every other one. I don't use this one too often. I don't know why I made it that shape. It's uncomfortable to use. Knitting markers. They're great to mark the sides when you have a sleeve. Excuse me. This comes from the Bond, I forget what it's called, but it's to make I-cord. Excuse me. This is another potter's tool, or polymer clay, either or, and it works pretty good for opening the latches. And a little bitty, a child's hair clip. I use this if I want to mark the side of the row. And let's put those in there. And this is a bodkin for a 4.5 millimeter knitting machine. It has a transfer tool on each end and nothing in the middle. That comes in handy if you dropped a stitch and, like, say you want to turn it around. Not that you dropped a stitch, but say you wanted to twist stitch. Okay, so you take it off, twist it, and put it back on. Because you can't really see it twisted, because I didn't twist it very much. Let's go do another twist. Another wrap. Just wrapped in the wrong direction. Okay, now now you can see a twist. And I'm exaggerating the twist because I want you to see it when I get to the... Well, that was productive. Okay. I'm doing twice. Okay. And just put it on. And now it's twisted, and we'll see what it looks like on the flip side. And this strange thing is to do intarsia, which I've got some videos on that. you're going to search my website, not website, my YouTube channel. Okay, and that is all the tools that I use. Oh, yeah, I showed you that one. I use a ruler. And that's really about it. Okay, I hope this helps. Oh, I wanted to show you the cables. Oops. You want to make sure that you're in the position. And 5. And because I want these to stand out, I need to finish laddering these. Now what I use the rulers for, see how, this is what I call when it's creeping out on me. So what I do, I take a ruler and I put it between the butt of the needle and the retainer bar. Okay, so when I unhook the stitch, ladder down, and rehang. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can do I'm going to verbally show you. Okay, so we've got that dealt with. Now I need to get my garter bar out. Excuse me. This is for 50 needles. Now if you just want to turn the work, which basically is what you do for to do a garter stitch. Okay, I like going in the middle of it and I push them out into it, trying to keep the latches open. Okay, then I bring the tool down to set inside the needle. I pull it off the machine. Ouch. Now I hold my fingers so it doesn't go back onto it. Okay. And I also like using, well, it doesn't really help much, but I have two sometimes that will hold it in place, hold it down. Okay, so the other direction. Yeah. Okay, so my latches are open. I am turning the work, making sure the working yarn stays in front of my work. And I tip the tool towards me so that the needles rest into, well, you can kind of see it a little bit there. You see the little notches. That was helpful. Hang on, let me get a bigger. Let's see, is my big one here? Yeah. Oh, okay, let me try that. Not sure if I got enough. Ow. Oh, I need some more. One more. Okay. I want to make sure my latches are open. Oh, you don't want to do what I'm getting ready to do. You want to make sure that you keep it on the tool. Get the heads of the needles into the slots. And you kind of just rock it onto it. And I'm pulling it down. And now I'm pulling the tool out. Okay. So here's the twisted stitch. Here's this cable with the manipulated stitches. And here's the single cable without the manipulated stitches. Okay, now I'm going to knit about 5 rows. Oh, wait a minute. Let me show you. Using my stitch holder, I am just going to feed the stitch holder onto the needles. You just want to make sure you're doing it the same for each of the stitches. And if it wants to be a pain, you just go in there in the back and do it. Now once I have a few of them on there, I can take them off. And I can also take out some of my weights. Okay. That's the creeping I don't like. And that one's too thick. That one's good. Okay. Depending on the length of your stitch holder as to how far you can go without taking them off. Hold it tight. I don't want to lose those, so I want to put it back on. Now I'm holding those 2 stitches really, really tight, because this one I know I'm going to have to restitch. There is nothing you do on the bond that cannot be repaired. You just have to think about how it's put together. Okay. Now I'm back. But this one has to be knitted. Okay. Yep. Only in this case it's more purl than knitted. Okay, that worked. And now if you want, you can lock your tools in place and take them off one at a time. And all I'm doing is hooking it and pushing it back so it can release. But sometimes that's not a good thing. Sorry about that one. I'm going to show you the live stitches. Now we're not making anything. We're just doing a sample. I'm just pulling them out. Now once you get some, you're on the last one, you can just take it off. Okay, let's get that off. Now, oops. Gotta make sure that stays hooked. And there's your cable. And see how it stands out a little bit? Whereas the single one, it's just a little hint of one. And that twisted stitch, I should have marked it. There it is. It gives a little hint of something. Now, remember I told you can take the raffle cord off? Okay. Be right back. I dropped it. Okay, so I'm going to remove let me get my scissors. Now, see how it unravels really fast. Just put a knot in it if you get this type of thread. I gotta see what I did wrong. Not quite sure what I did wrong. You should just be able to pull it and have it come. I'll have to work on that one. I know this end won't do that. There we go. I think when I pulled this one, I pulled it through and made a knot. That's how it's supposed to work. And then you can do whatever your pattern needs to do. You wouldn't take this off until after you did whatever. You know, gather it up, or in my case, I'm taking it apart. Alright, hope this helped you to be creative. And remember, there's a lot of things you have in your house that you could use. Till next time.